Hi, I'm Andy,
And I'm Raisa.
and this is the Moody Love Club podcast. And today we're going to talk about apologies.
Yay.
Yay, apologies. So what about apologies? Let's take a look. I guess we could start off with, well, why do we apologize? It's a basic question.
Are you asking me? Is this an open-ended thing? Because I don't know. I apologize when I feel like I've hurt somebody or
Okay.
I've done something wrong.
Right.
And I don't want to lose that relationship.
Yep.
And I want them to know that I care about the relationship that we have
Mhm.
and that I don't want to lose it. What about you?
Same. I would say, well, because if I know I did something wrong, I want to hold myself accountable for it. So that might be a selfish reason for apologizing. I don't know. But also because I want to maintain that relationship, there's a reason why I'm apologizing. Actually, let me take that back because I've apologized to people, but I have no intention with wanting to keep the relationship
Same.
anymore.
I've been in situations like that as well.
Initially, yes, I don't like to think I just cut people off. But if it is something that has built up over time, I'm gonna want to continue to apologize because I want to hold myself accountable for whatever I did.
Yeah.
But if I know it's not good for my mental health to keep this going, I don't necessarily apologize because I want to maintain this relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it comes from a place of holding myself accountable.
Right.
But then for the most part, it is to maintain relationships, friendships, relationships with your partner or even like within your family.
Yeah.
You know.
What about that? Like, I feel like personally, I have not heard the words "I'm sorry" or "I apologize" very often growing up.
From
like parents,
yeah,
or I don't know, even family members and cousins. Like maybe once,
yeah,
I have, but it wasn't really like sorry. Really wasn't like a word you hear, or
same,
or someone just showing remorse for their actions. Like it's just not something you hear.
I think that, like, from my experience, my knowledge, I feel like that's generationally and culturally. I think a common thing they say in like Asian cultures is that older Asian grandparents or parents won't necessarily apologize, like say those words, like "I'm sorry," but they'll show it in different ways. Most of the time, it's acts of service. So
like they'll make you eat.
They'll
like,
cook you food.
Yeah, that's a big
but
one. Yeah.
You won't hear "I'm sorry" from them. They're just gonna show you in that way.
Yeah.
But that actually makes me think of maybe, well, people apologize in different ways. And so let's just say for, what I was just saying, like apologizing with food, that's just their way of saying sorry. Is that okay though? Or do you need to hear "I'm sorry"?
I think now, in my old age, I want to hear the words "I'm sorry," and I want to hear that you know what you've done wrong.
Yeah.
Like I'm too grown for you to just sweep it under the rug. And I'm not talking about like family in this sense. I'm talking about like friendships.
Yeah.
Especially like I have no time for people who don't take accountability and who don't self-reflect, I think. Because then it shows me that you have no empathy and you don't care about anyone but yourself. But as we have researched, I think it goes way deeper than that.
Yeah.
But still, like, I don't care. Like, I want to hear you say that you are sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I want to hear it, like from a romantic partner or even a platonic one. But when it comes to my family, I guess I'm considering like older parents and aunts and uncles and cousins or even brothers and sisters. It's almost like I want it to happen, but if it's not going to happen, I'm not going to argue with it because we're like, at least like culturally, I'm bonded to them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of those people who are like, I'm never going to talk to you again. Like, we're literally bonded because we're in the same like family tree. So I'm going to see you again. So I'm going to have to just accept the fact that they either do or don't say sorry, or they say sorry in a way that like I don't personally want them to. But
Yeah. So you just
so
let
I
it
kind of
go.
just accept it.
Yeah, for what it is.
And I don't even know if that's healthy or not. But when
family dynamics though, right? Like,
yeah,
if you're used to it, you're used to it. Sorry.
but when it comes to partners and friends, I think those are, in my mind, immediately like, well, we could literally cut this off, and I could never talk to you again. And there's no way I'm gonna be literally like bonded to you by blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I feel like, you know, so I hold other people to a different standard.
Yeah, why? I wonder why we do that. Why is it so different? Like with our family, it's just like, yeah, that's just the way it is. But with friends or partners, potential partners, it's so much more.
Yeah.
Like we expect so much more from them.
Yeah.
But do you think it comes from a place of like disappointment, maybe, that as a kid we wished that we would hear "I'm sorry" more, and now
for sure
we want that for ourselves? Probably, right?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I also just think society and this generation and even younger generations are like becoming very good at holding people accountable for their actions. Like celebrities. Have you heard about the whole people are like unfollowing celebrities because of the Met Gala?
Was it the Met Gala? No, it's not the Met
Gala.
So
I think it was triggered because of the Met Gala, and a lot of people have this influence.
No, I don't think it was the Met
Really?
Gala. No. It was because of Macklemore, and he released. Oh, here we're going political. Macklemore released the song, Heinz. About Palestine. And then the internet was like, where are the other celebrities? Why aren't they voicing out? And so that's why that's what triggered it.
Oh, okay.
So, but where are you going with this?
Well, I was just saying that like people are holding
people accountable. Clearly.
Yeah. And so
true. Fuck. Yeah. I didn't make that connection.
My friend and I were discussing this, and you know, they were like, yeah, I'm pretty disappointed that these celebrities aren't even saying anything. They have this power and this influence. They don't, you know, speak up about what's going on in Palestine. And I was just kind of like, I'm not disappointed. I kind of assumed
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I'm actually more disappointed that my friends, my peers aren't, because I actually do hold them to that standard. Yeah. Whereas with celebrities, it's like they don't care. It doesn't affect them.
No, of course it's money, but I think it does affect them, and that's why they're not saying anything. That if they did say, I can bet you they're going to lose a lot of money.
So so this is where we got into it, where they're losing followers. Like there's a trend now where people are blocking or unfollowing celebrities.
Yeah, I've done it.
But it's so much to the point that they're buying followers and they're buying ads. Like my friend said she saw Kim Kardashian's like ad pop up on a story. You don't get those unless you're paying to like actually have an ad up. And so it's just the fact that celebrities are going to that length because they're seeing how it affects them.
Are they finally seeing that being a celebrity is a flaw? And that they have to get a real job?
A real job.
Like a celebrity isn't a job. An actor is a job. A model is a job. A celebrity is not. Let's be for fucking real. And I think when you wow, we've really gone.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a normal conversation.
I think when you've placed your whole image as like a fucking marketing thing, gimmick, whatever, of course you're gonna, there's more to life, babe.
Yeah, exactly. That goes back to like that episode we were talking about how like what's the point of influencers and what are their actual goals? Like
it's marketing.
And yeah, exactly. And so it's the same thing with celebrities. It's like they're upset that they're losing followers / money then technically. But anyway, I was just thinking about holding people accountable. Where were we before that?
Families. We went from family to celebrities.
Yeah. I think also and this is like, you know, when you fight with your sibling or something, I remember my sister and I would get into like ridiculous fights and then not talk for like 5 minutes, and then we'll go to the movies together and act like nothing happened.
See, I don't have a sibling that I grew up with, so I don't know what that's
Oh,
like.
really?
But,
okay.
Yeah. But obviously I had that, I guess, same experience with my parents. But it was the same thing.
Is
where
it
you
similar?
fight,
Yeah.
and then you just move on, I
Exactly.
suppose.
Because I think it goes back to the whole, like, well, we're stuck together forever, so let's just move on.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, when it comes, oh God, especially partnerships, yeah, like with your partner.
Yeah.
How do you go about, oh, you said that you want to hear.
Yeah, I definitely do. I want them to take accountability. But I think I also, like, an unfair trait of mine is that I expect them to know what they've done wrong without me voicing it. Like I would like, yeah, I would like for them to know already without me having to tell them.
Right, like, why do I have to spell this out for you?
Yeah, like, this is why I'm upset. This is what you've done wrong. This is what you could do better. I don't like that. Like, I'm not in a relationship with a child. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's that
man.
unfair of a trait, though.
Yeah.
I think it's like a spectrum, right? Like, how am I supposed to, like, this stupid example of, well, I'm mad at you because you cheated on me in my dream. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to know that you dreamt that? Like, that's an unreasonable one.
No, of course.
Whereas, like, you know, you never take out the garbage, and I literally asked you to take the garbage out, and...
Oh, and then they turn it on you. Well, you never... And I'm like, well, it doesn't seem to bother you.
And so that's...
Shall we just live in a fucking messy-ass house then?
Yeah.
And live happily ever after?
But that is, like, one of my pet peeves is that I'm trying to say something, and then it goes back to, well, you do this. And it's like, you're not listening.
Yeah.
That's... Like, okay,
point.
Maybe I do that, but you're still not listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm the same way, where I want to know you understand why I am upset.
Yeah.
And why I do want you to say sorry.
Yeah.
And without hearing that, I actually, for me, it's like, I don't even know if you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, same.
Yeah.
I also think it's, like, annoying when I'm bringing something up and they just take it immediately as an attack.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, I'm not fucking attacking
We're
you.
on the same team, dude.
Yeah, like, relax.
Yeah.
Like, not everything is about you are better than me, and not everything is a competition. It's just like, this is what I would appreciate so that we can have a better relationship together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, stop playing the fucking victim here. Like, just be a fucking, just be a fucking man, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No, I feel that. I think also it comes down to perspective, right? You could not agree with why your partner wants you to apologize, but if you could try to see why they want you to apologize, and, you know, I need to hear it. I need to hear, like, I see where you're coming from, and I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Yeah. And actually, here's another, I don't want to keep going to loops, but another big thing for me is phrasing. Because, and the thing is, I don't fault people too much if they don't know. Especially, like, older generations aren't as nitpicky. Like,
I have a feeling I know where this is going, but go on, continue.
I do not like the phrase, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
I was just thinking that. Like, I knew you were going down that road.
It's like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're now not even holding yourself accountable for making me feel that way.
This is when I go, no. You want to try that again?
You want to try apologizing again?
Try that apology one more time, sir, because, excuse me, I'm sorry you feel like, wow, that's just totally putting all of the
blame on
and the responsibility on you. And
on someone who is trying to actually have a conversation about, like, what they're feeling. Oh, I hate that phrase. So phrasing is really important to me. I don't fault people at first if they don't understand that.
Yeah.
But after I've said it a few times, like, hey, that's not an actual apology.
Yeah.
Like, that is actually being more passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did make me feel that way. Those weren't your intentions, but you still made me feel that way. So saying, I'm sorry I made you feel that way goes a long way for me compared to, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
But, like, so we found this article on Psychology Today, and we'll link it to this episode. So I think this article says that it has to do with attachment theory.
Yeah.
Or it's just one perspective of like why sometimes our apologies are like we fumble our apologies, and it's really to do with like taking accountability or avoiding the accountability or being fearful or dismissive about the accountability, right? So there's 3 types: anxious, avoidant, and fearful that they go into. I think the first one is anxious,
which is my attachment style.
Same here, anxious, preoccupied.
Yeah.
So let me just look. Okay, so if they're being apologized to, let me just read this. Before apologizing to your anxiously attached friend or partner, commit to your course of action. If this person escalates and re-engages in expressing anger towards you, do not run away. Remain emotionally and physically present and listen actively, and do not become defensive. Which I think is interesting because let's think about when someone is apologizing to us. Do we get emotional? Do you get emotional? Do you? Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
Like, do you re-engage the anger? Like, do you get angry again?
I don't. I don't.
It says here that like that's a possibility that could happen.
Think. No, I feel like I've always been like that too. I don't, just because I know what I want. I want you to apologize. Yeah. And so if you do it and it sounds sincere, done.
Yeah, if it sounds sincere.
I don't, if it's not sincere and you're kind of just doing it, then it's more annoying. So I guess, I get upset because I'm like, cool, so you're bringing this up, you're just saying sorry, but you don't actually mean it.
Yeah.
Then what is the point? I think because I'm more, I don't know, emotional, where I want to know that you genuinely feel sorry. So when you're not, it's upsetting.
So this is what it says here. So an example that this article gives is, let's say there's an anxiously attached person and a relative, and they have an intense interaction in front of other people at a family gathering. And the anxiously attached person wants to apologize, but the other person, for example, a dismissing person approaches them first and apologizes for their behavior. So then the anxious person also starts to say that they're sorry for their part, but the other person cuts them off and restates their apology and then quickly ends the conversation because they just want to move on, right? And doing that will make the anxiously attached person have no chance of processing their side of the interaction. And then it leaves them more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Interesting, because now I'm thinking, like, am I actually anxious or preoccupied? Because I'll be like, okay, whatever. No, it will continue to upset me. And then I will choose never to talk to this person again. I think that's what
I was thinking. Yeah, is that like, it upsets me when I care about you.
Yeah.
If I don't, it's just like, all right, whatever, dude. I'll move on. Yeah. I think it comes down to, like, going back to, like, why do we even apologize? It's because we care about those people and we want to keep those friendships and relationships. And I agree.
Yeah, there are other types too that this article, like other attachment styles that this article refers to, like the dismissive type. So so an example that they give is, let me see. So, let's just go. People with dismissing attachment styles are generally uncomfortable feeling vulnerable, experiencing interpersonal conflict, or acknowledging weakness or wrongdoing. So they tend to make external attributions for their own failures and defect fault, often blaming the victim for their behavior, like the "I'm sorry for that you feel that way."
Yeah.
Right? Delivering a comprehensive apology might be experienced as highly aversive to the dismissing person because it requires that they admit shortcomings, express a desire to change, take responsibility for their harmful actions, and ask for forgiveness. So apparently that's difficult to them.
I think that comes back to upbringing as well.
Yes, of course, which is attachment style in general,
upbringing,
right?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Upbringing, not just by your parents, but society. Yeah, especially as a man, apologizing is a form of weakness back then, or was a form of weakness back then. You know, so that's why, like, I don't know, maybe that's like kind of ingrained in that, where like they have to be vulnerable and apologize. Like, hell no.
I mean, let's think about as children. Do you remember when any situation where you were forced as a child to say sorry to someone and you really didn't want to say sorry to them? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
Can you think about that situation, and let's go there for a second. Paint the picture for me. You were like, let's say you were 5. Go.
Oh my God. I don't even, you're asking me to pull memories and I don't remember what I did last week. What's a good little spat?
It can be hypothetical as well. Let's say at playground, you pushed a kid, the kid was being a fucking asshole. Then, I don't know, either your mom or the teacher was like, no, you can't do that. You have to say sorry.
I think, okay, well, I'm just trying to put myself in those shoes. It's out of being stubborn and prideful. I'm not trying to say sorry to this kid and now be weak in front of all my classmates, and then everyone's going to think I'm a wimp or something.
And that is exactly what the other article that we read says, is that some people find it painful to apologize because they have a weak sense of self and need to protect their self-image. And instead of apologizing, some people avoid responsibility by doubling down on their original claims or blaming others.
Yeah.
But it also says that when someone won't apologize, don't get angry. Instead, make it easier for them to take responsibility.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I gotta read that. Okay, so for an example here, how to handle someone who won't apologize. It's so interesting that they have like an example of this. So if you know someone that has difficulty apologizing when they err, try not to express anger towards them. This will make them feel worse about themselves and make it harder for them to say that they're sorry. You will be more successful if you can encourage them to see that taking responsibility for errors and correcting them is a virtue. It is something to be proud of, as it shows good character. Now, the example that they use is between a father and a son.
Okay.
Again, I ain't your mama.
So that's what I was thinking. Literally, I was thinking more about partnerships, where it's like, I don't want to teach my partner this.
No, literally.
Why don't you know this by now?
Yes, you're a grown-up.
Yeah. And, I mean, I guess it depends on your age, right? Like,
does it, though? No.
No, it does, because I think it depends, like, I hold people who have been obviously around long enough to learn these things, and you still don't know how to do that. That bothers me. I don't want to teach you that. I'm not your mom. Figure it out.
I'm not your mom. See?
Yeah, for real though.
That's why I think this is so relevant, like these articles.
And it's funny because it was a father and a son. It's like my instinct was like an actual relationship. Yeah, nope, that's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's coming down to that. Yeah. It's like, why do I have to
be the bigger person? But again,
I was thinking that while you were reading that, and it's just like, dude, I'm exhausted.
No, same.
I'm tired of being the bigger person. Can you mature and grow up and understand?
Yeah.
Like, why do I always have to be the bigger person for us?
And I think, I can't remember where I read this, but women tend to bear all of the emotional baggage of a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all of it. They hold all of it. So it can be extremely exhausting when you're, I guess, with an emotionally unavailable partner, even though it's been for the long run. I can only imagine that, like, how exhausting it is.
I was thinking, just going back to phrasing, I think when you understand your partner, and let's just say your partner is dismissive, avoidant, and you want to, like, not have them be defensive or something anymore, you have to phrase things as like, maybe we shouldn't be defensive to each other. Because if I say maybe you shouldn't, or like, can you not be defensive, he or she is gonna get all defensive. Yeah, they're definitely gonna go like it's like, oh, why are you telling, you're also defensive as well, and it's just a back and forth thing where it's like, this is unproductive at this point,
and it's not going anywhere.
And so I think that comes back to being like the bigger person, which just gets exhausting. I I even think I used that at work before too with like employees, is like we should all stop saying, calling each other names, or even to your kids or something. Like we should all not do that. And it's like obviously pointed to like one specific person, but it's the verbiage where they don't feel as attacked.
Yeah, I actually studied this.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you help kind of like, God, I forgot the term. Ooh, it's too hot in here. My brain is mushy. But yeah, using like we, us instead of you. It helps a lot with, I think, conflict.
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
And honestly, it depends on the day, depends on my mood, depends on how exhausted I am. But yeah, I will be the bigger person, so we can actually move forward in a better way. I'm just saying sometimes it gets exhausting. Where I'm like, I always have to be that person.
Yeah.
So do we accept that some people will just apologize in their own way and not in the way you want? Or do we try to keep guiding them into what we need?
This depends, I think, on how much you want to invest in the relationship and who this person means to you, you know, like, I mean, I've been in situations where I've received an apology 4 months late, but the apology was very self-reflective and all, but like, I don't see a change in the person, in the behavior. So you can apologize to me all you want, but if I don't see a change in the behavior, I will slowly start to exclude myself from that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do need to see.
Of course. Yeah. And I want to see that like you've understood what you've done wrong and that you want to be a better person, not for me, but for yourself.
Yeah.
And that you want to be a better person also for like everyone else around you, you know, like,
yeah,
you can't just go around being a shitty human being and then saying sorry and then continue the shitty behavior. Like that just shows me you don't
actually know what you've done wrong. Yeah. No, for sure, that's true. I think like certain relationships, so kind of what I was saying earlier, like parents, siblings, maybe even grandparents, I've accepted that that's just how they say sorry, and I just have to accept that and leave it at that. I think we hold platonic and romantic relationships to a higher standard because this is something we have to work on, because otherwise we can both be like, this is done. Yeah. And we could cut it off. Whereas family is kind of like you're kind of tied to each other.
Yeah. And you don't have to be,
you don't have to be, but like for the most part, I think even in society they make it seem that way. But yeah, I think we can go into like, I mean, we've been talking about it, but why it is important to apologize. And okay, actually, hold on. If you apologize and they don't accept your apology, how do you feel about that?
Then I guess I walk away knowing that I did my best.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the best intentions and we move on.
Yeah.
You know, I think if a person, like, clearly they don't want to invest in the relationship in the same way that you do. And that's a part of life. Sometimes that happens. And yeah, you know, people come, people go, some people stay.
Right.
That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think also you shouldn't, or we shouldn't apologize and expect something in return.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I apologize, so now it's your turn. And it's like, you're only doing that so you can get an apology.
Yeah.
You're not actually apologizing because you're sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think we can go into like why apologizing is important. I think for me, apologizing is important because it shows me you are willing to work not just like on yourself, but work on us. Like our relationship, our partnership, our friendship. It means that you actually care about me and us and like what our friendship is.
Have any conflicts improved a relationship for you, be it platonic or romantic? Like when a conflict has happened and then an apology has happened, have you guys both grown from it? And
Oh,
then,
absolutely.
that relationship has kind of elevated and flourished, and now you're more bonded than ever. Like,
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, like one of my long-term relationships, for sure, we could not be more different. I think they had a secure attachment and I had an anxious attachment. Actually, okay, I think they had a secure slash avoidant. Maybe it was avoidant and then it grew into secure for them. But I think our conflicts, yeah, and apologizing and also just understanding that maybe even the conflict to begin with wasn't about attacking you. And, I think some people who do get defensive take it as an attack. I remember hearing someone talk about this where their partner was, telling them why, like, oh, I feel this, and this about you. And they were taking it as attack on themselves and who they are as a person and not about what that person did. So, like, I'm sad that you don't spend time with me.
Yeah.
And this person being like, well, now I'm a bad friend. It's like, no, you're not. Yeah. It's about like, I want to spend more time with you. Yeah. It's about the action of not, doing it. So I think apologies are also what is that called? Just like misinterpreted sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. And I think one of the lessons that they say in one of the articles here is that, especially for a fearful attachment style, is to write it down first. So you really get your words out on paper. You really get to see your thoughts forming. And I think that helps with any attachment style and any person, so that, do you understand your own apology, I think can help. Especially, and then this is like a very blown out of proportion kind of apology, but sometimes that's necessary, especially if you've done something wrong, really wrong, and you've really hurt that person, and you want to salvage the relationship. Yeah, writing it down, I think, can help. Seeing your thoughts, come to life helps.
I think, I don't know, the older I get too, though, the more powerful I think apologies are.
Same. Because I think life's too short. I want to say,
I don't want to hold a grudge. I don't want to be mad at you.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to be a grumpy old person that hates everybody because they did not apologize to me.
It's just like, that's so much energy you're carrying to be upset with somebody.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd say I have been apologized to and I accept the apology, but we're not back to where we were.
No. Yeah.
For me, I think it's just because I'm still hurt.
Yeah.
And it's like, I already know you're sorry and I know you know what you did wrong.
Yeah.
But I am still kind of hurt, so it might take some time. That's at least how I feel.
And I think it's good to voice that, just to be like, I thank you for apologizing, but I'm going to need some space to kind of process my feelings about this.
Actually, you're right. I think also we should do the same as well. Like, thank you. Yeah. Thanking someone for having the courage to be vulnerable, because I know that it was hard for you. I know this isn't something that comes easy, but I really appreciate it. Like, thank you very much. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think whenever I've gotten into conflict, with a partner or something, and I think my last partner taught me this too. He would always be like, thank you for talking to me. Like, I genuinely learned a lot from this conversation.
Yeah.
On like how not to just be a better partner, but like better person.
Yeah.
And we get that out of these conversations.
Totally. Vulnerability.
Yeah, I think acknowledging those things are really important. Yeah.
Oh. I feel the same way. No, it's true though, but that's why I think relationships are so important to us. Like, we are a communal race. Oh my god, species.
Communal
race. We're a communal species. Like, we need connection, and relationships really do help us grow. So I do. And the vulnerable moments in those relationships help us grow. They really totally like show a mirror to us and make us realize, oh, this is what I need to do to be a better person.
Yeah.
Partner, father, mother, brother, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this chat.
Yeah. I think that's what I have to say about apologies.
No.
I feel like we covered a good amount of it.
Yeah, me too. And we'll share the links.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it is an interesting article because I never thought about apologies and attachment styles.
Me neither.
I mean, I guess I have, but I didn't understand that that's what I was thinking about. I was always thinking like upbringing or like trauma, and which is literally
related,
that's related. So
it's the root of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This was a short one, but it's hot.
It's hot, and there's no fan in here.
Yeah.
So
we gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.